working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex Fisher. We begin with an update on that deadly officer-involved shooting off the I-5 last week. It happened last Sunday on the northbound on-ramp from Laval Road onto the 5 freeway. CHP says they received a 911 call about someone driving a car erratically. Officers say Marvin Urbina was speeding, weaving in and out of traffic and driving in the emergency lane. A CHP officer tried to pull the 19-year-old over, but the driver lost control and his car rolled over. CHP says Urbina reached into his waistband and advanced toward an officer. That officer fired his rifle, killing the man. CHP says a fixed blade knife was located in the front passenger seat of that car. Tehachapi police need your help to catch a woman suspected of defrauding her 80-year-old employer of thousands of dollars. 2 felony warrants have been issued for the arrest of Carrie Patricia Ann Martin. She's suspected of using her employer's credit cards and checking accounts to defraud the man. Tehachapi police say the 39-year-old woman has ties to Tehachapi, Palmdale, and Lancaster, and she could also be working at a medical office in Bakersfield. If you have any information, call Detective Mark Mechanic at 822-2222. In national news, the Trump administration issued a new rule today that could deny green cards to immigrants who use public assistance. Citizenship and Immigration Services Acting Director Ken Cuccinelli says immigrants will be barred from entering the United States if they are found likely to become public charges. Cuccinelli explained public charges are people who receive public benefits over a certain threshold. He stressed the new action ensures that immigrants who want to enter or remain in the United States must support themselves, and it promotes the American ideal of self-sufficiency.
Through the public charge rule, President Trump's administration is reinforcing the ideals of self-sufficiency and personal responsibility, ensuring that immigrants are able to support themselves and become successful here in America.
Cuccinelli added more people were sworn in as American citizens last year than the previous 4 years. The autopsy of Jeffrey Epstein is now complete, and the Justice Department and FBI are demanding answers. Why was Epstein taken off suicide watch, and how was he able to take his own life under the watch of federal prison guards? Here's NBC's Stephanie Gosk.
This morning, the question on many minds: how did Jeffrey Epstein die while in federal custody? The medical examiner completing an autopsy, but not releasing an official cause of death overnight, instead saying she needs more information. Law enforcement sources tell NBC News 66-year-old Epstein hanged himself inside his jail cell Saturday morning. The FBI is now investigating. An appalled Attorney General William Barr ordering the Inspector General to look into the matter too. Sources tell NBC News Epstein was taken off suicide watch after a psychiatric evaluation around July 29th, less than a week after he was found injured in his cell with marks on his neck. Cameron Lindsay served as a warden at the prison's sister facility in Brooklyn.
If this individual was taken off suicide watch, from my perspective, it's a mistake, because I think you just have to take the conservative route.
While on suicide watch, Epstein would have been monitored 24/7. Instead, he was in a cell where checks were supposed to occur twice every hour. The Inspector General now looking into whether that protocol was followed, according to people briefed on the matter. According to a senior law enforcement official, there is nothing to suggest foul play. Epstein was charged back in July and pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking and conspiracy charges. The indictment said he paid young girls hundreds of dollars for sex at his luxury homes in Manhattan and Palm Beach.
Did Jeffrey Epstein rape you?
Yeah, no, he raped me. Forcefully raped me, but knew exactly what he was doing.
Epstein's accusers, including Jennifer Arose, have waited many years to face the 66-year-old in criminal court.
He really stole a big part of my life.
Now, she says, we have to live with the scars of his actions for the rest of our lives, while he will never face the consequences of the crimes he committed.
That was Stephanie Gosh reporting. All right, taking a look at your forecast after a beautiful weekend. Temperatures are going to start to rise back into triple digits.
Yeah, we're getting closer to that again. It was a great weekend, though. Outside, clear skies, no changes on that front for the next 7 days. We're still going to be clear. It's just we're going to be a little bit warmer. 86 out there right now for Bakersfield under a calm wind. As we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast today, we'll be right near 91 at 2, and then mid-90s this afternoon before slipping into the 80s by right around 10 o'clock. And you can see the Tehachapi area already warm at 79. A northwest wind 12 right now, so a little bit of a breeze picking up. And as we take a look at the day, we are expecting the 80s, and then by 10 o'clock, we'll be in the mid-60s. We are talking about triple-digit temperatures. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. Alex?
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Now to that devastating house fire in Erie, Pennsylvania that took the lives of 5 children. The home was being used as a daycare, and the owner's child was one of those killed. Here's NBC's Kathy Park.
This morning, investigators sifting through the ashes of a Pennsylvania daycare center, trying to determine the cause of a fire that killed 5 children, 3 of them the children of a firefighter.
Our firefighter, Luther Jones, 3 of his children perished in that fire.
Jones was responding to another call in the city and had no idea his own kids were trapped just blocks away. Firefighters rushing to the scene early Sunday morning. Neighbors say they heard the screams of 2 teenagers who escaped through a second-story window, yelling there were babies trapped inside. One man struggling to help, pushed back by the intense smoke and flames.
I tried to go inside. I made it to the open living room and I couldn't go any further. It's tragic.
Firefighters ultimately pulled 7 people from the building, but only 2 survived. Records show the house was registered as a daycare center. The most recent inspection of the home was within the last year. A makeshift memorial set up outside the home as a heartbroken community grieves 5 young lives cut short. Investigators will be out here today trying to find the exact cause of this fire, but say they'll be focusing their attention on a potential electrical issue. They also add that only 1 smoke detector was found in the attic of this home. In Erie, Pennsylvania, Kathy Park, NBC News.
Meantime, arson investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a deadly house fire in California City. Firefighters say the flames broke out just after 3 p.m. yesterday at a home on Manzanita Avenue. 1 person died in the fire. No word on what started the blaze. The search is on for a man police are calling a thief after a surveillance camera caught him stealing from a liquor store. Bakersfield police say he stole cigarettes and lottery tickets from Sony Food Store on Bernard Street Thursday. He's described as a white man in his 20s with a thin build, brown hair, and was last seen wearing a blue shirt, gray shorts, and a blue backpack. Police say he took off in a white single cab 90s Nissan pickup. A Caliente man found guilty of killing his friend during an argument will soon know how long he'll spend behind bars. In April, jurors found Daniel Rhodes guilty of second-degree murder. Rhodes shot William Alford last October and admitted to putting his body in a trash can. Court documents say Rhodes claimed Alford forced his way into his home, demanded items of value, and threatened him. Police still have not found Alford's body. Rhodes faces 40 years to life for the murder. He's due in court for sentencing tomorrow morning. Well, are you handy with a hammer? If so, HGTV wants to meet you today. John Balfan's Homes is hosting a pep rally for volunteers who want to be part of HGTV's Extreme Makeover Home Edition. The event will give people a chance to meet the Extreme Makeover team before the production team arrives in Bakersfield. It's happening tonight at the Fox Theater in downtown Bakersfield at 7 p.m. We'll have more details on the rally and volunteering on our website, kget.com. Many students are just 2 days away from heading back to school, and there are still a few events families can take advantage of before the kids go back into the classroom. Tomorrow, kids can pick up a backpack, hygiene kit, and food basket and get a haircut at the David Nelson Pocket Park on Nelson Street. The event starts at 9, wraps up at noon, and the Children First campaign and Apple Corps Project are sponsoring the event. And when you're checking items off that back-to-school list, do not forget to include vaccinations. The next free Adventist Health immunization clinic is going on until 2 p.m. today at the Greenfield Family Resource Center on Monitor Street. So you've got about 2 hours left. There are several other clinics happening this week, and we've posted all the dates and times on our website, kget.com. From backpacks and vaccines to teacher wish lists, we've posted lots of resources for you before you send your kids back to school. You can find it on our website. Just go to KGET.com and click on the hot link icon. Well, as the heat continues to build across the nation, one young girl is hoping to provide some relief to her mail carrier, the kind gesture she does on a daily basis to help him cool down. Welcome back. With scorching temperatures across the nation, some jobs are a little tougher than others. That's why an Illinois girl is making sure mail carriers in her neighborhood stay cool by leaving them drinks and snacks. Here's Marissa Sulek.
Cooling off
Powerade or Gatorade
on a scorching summer day is what 9-year-old Lydia Ziegler always has in mind.
To at least get cool.
But this yellow cooler isn't for her. It's for her grandmother's mailman.
If it has the same note than before, he will know I'm not here.
Note, snack, Powerade, and all. She packs it up and sends it out, leaving it on the front porch anonymously.
They know I leave stuff out. They don't actually know me in person.
Delivering packages to countless houses can be exhausting in the heat. That's why Lydia and her grandmother got the idea.
Because one day we looked out and seen him in his truck, and he was out there just drowned with a towel. So it was like, let's power it up a little bit.
Now, when their mailman reaches these steps, he's greeted with a package of his own. He's had no idea who the mastermind is.
Nice fun to meet you in person.
Leaving him his mid-shift fuel. And Lydia is starting to receive some recognition of her own.
Wanted to say thank you for the cookies and the Powerade.
Letter after letter from mail carriers she's helped all over the Quad City area, whether it's her own house or her other grandparents.
Because usually it's rare for mailmans to write back.
But one piece of mail stood out in particular.
This is from Washington, D.C.
The United States Postmaster General heard about Lydia's good deed and reached out herself.
So shocked, and my mind was blown.
A small act of kindness from a 9-year-old.
She's just a really good little thoughtful girl.
Who doesn't let mailmen or women go unnoticed.
But you forget about all him and everything, but I don't.
I mean, that is just such a great gesture that she did on her own, and I think it's a good reminder that we all need to do something like that. It doesn't have to be something big, just something small goes a long way.
Yep. Human kindness at its best, that's for sure. And we're holding on to that 86. We're in the mid-80s right now. No winds to talk about still around the area. And overnight, we were at 68 degrees, so close to the normal of 70. Normal high today, 97. The record of 111 set back at, in 1933. To the north, 86 in Delano, 87 in Wasco. We've got 84 out in Buttonwillow. And then we've got 70s and 80s into the mountains. Tehachapi at 79. Frazier Park at 75. They were chilly this morning. 89 Lake Isabella already 93 in Ridgecrest. Take a look at the regional temperatures. We've got the 70s out near San Francisco, 87 to the north of us into Fresno, and lower 70s down to the south, mid-90s out of Vegas. Satellite and radar shows you clear skies, a few light clouds along the coastal areas. This is going to be the case as we go throughout the next 7 days. Not a cloud to be found for us around the state. Looking at 97 in Sacramento today, 98 in Fresno. A beautiful day in Morro Bay, 72 there, and then 70s in 80 south. LA should be right near 82, and the beaches looking very nice. Look at Pismo Beach, 71. The UV index still high. Water temperature a little chilly for my blood at 56. But if you want to take the kids before school starts on Wednesday, they'll go in the water, no problem at all. Just keep a close eye on them. Wave height 2 to 3 feet. And here's a look at the overall pattern. High pressure sitting offshore is going to start to build on in you the next few days. That will warm us up. We've got a couple of troughs also developing out of the north and west. Those will impact us a little closer into the weekend. National weather right now, and we've been tracking a little bit of storm activity into parts of Illinois. I do expect this to increase itself a little bit this afternoon, so we've got a pretty big risk of thunderstorms in this area. And temperatures today running quite warm in Seattle, 80 degrees there, 84 in Salt Lake, 86 in Omaha, Chicago 84 with those thunderstorms, and then we've got 80s and 90s up into the northeast. D.C. today right near 91. Air quality, if you're going to be out and about, will be moderate with an AQI at 67. Today, we should be right near 96 in Bakersfield. To the north, Delano at 95. Taft at 94 for the mountains in the Kern River Valley. 77 in Pine Mountain Club, Frazier Park at 80. 84 in Tehachapi for the Kern River Valley. Lake Isabella 93. 94 in Kernville. And then for the desert, sunny skies. The northwest wind 5 to 10. 95 in Mojave. Here's your extended forecast. Tomorrow 100, 103 Wednesday, Thursday. And then another cool down next weekend when it really counts. We'll be in the lower 90s. Overnight in the 60s and 70s for the mountains. Sunny skies throughout the next 7. The breeze will pick up a little bit as we round out the work week. Your warmest days coming on Wednesday, Thursday in the lower 90s. And then lower 80s. So a 10-degree drop Saturday and Sunday. And then for the Kern River Valley, your warmest days Wednesday, Thursday right near 100. A little bit of a breeze picking up for you as well. And then upper 80s to lower 90s by Saturday and Sunday.
Well, it was such a great weekend. I mean, it was unbelievable to feel those kind of cool temperatures, especially in the morning.
Yesterday, upper 80s, lower 90s around the valley. You couldn't ask for a better day. Now, we've been spoiled over the weekend. Now we just kind of have to hold on for the heat the next few days.
Right. All right. Thanks, Kev.
Yep.
All right. Still ahead, the race to space is getting cheaper. How companies are reducing the cost to send rockets straight into orbit.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
It's kind of a rough day for the Dow Jones. It's currently down 396 points. NASDAQ is down about 100. S&P 500 down 38. Meantime, checking oil prices, West Texas Intermediate is at $54.77 a barrel, and Midway Sunset at 58 even. Summer's almost over, but Labor Day is right around the corner, and people hitting the road for that long weekend may continue to see a bit of relief at the pump. That's because gas prices are continuing to fall, even though demand from motorists remains strong. AAA says Americans will likely continue to see the price at the pump drop through fall. And even more relief could be on the way with the switch to winter gasoline. The average price of regular gas is down about 20 cents compared to this time last year. AAA says the national average for regular gas is now $2.65 a gallon. It's $3.64 in California, and Kern County a little higher at $3.74. And according to GasBuddy.com, the lowest price on gas in the Bakersfield area is $3.21. You can find it at the On The Go food store on River Boulevard in Northeast Bakersfield. To look up gas prices in your neighborhood, just head to our website, KGET.com, then click on the traffic section. The cost to launch a rocket into space is getting cheaper, and that's thanks to companies like Virgin Orbit focused on using smaller rockets to deliver satellites into space. But as CNBC's Morgan Brennan explains, they're far from the only company racing to serve this expanding market.
Virgin Orbit is the other space company owned by billionaire Sir Richard Branson, a startup focused on making and launching small rockets to put small satellites in orbit. At its California facility, Virgin Orbit is developing Launcher One, a 70-foot-long rocket that it hopes to send on its first test flight in the coming weeks.
Launcher One will go up on the wing on a 747 and put about 300 kilograms of payload into low Earth orbit, which will serve a whole bunch of customers from communications to Earth resources to science.
Unlike SpaceX, whose 230-foot-tall Falcon 9 rocket can boost up to 50,000 pounds to low Earth orbit, Launcher One is limited to payloads weighing 660 pounds or less. The company already touts a dozen contracts, including with NASA and the Defense Department. Launch price, $12 million. It's an emerging area of the space sector, but one expected to have significant implications.
What's happened is the cost of satellites has come down substantially, and so now flocks of new business ideas are popping up because it no longer takes billions of dollars to develop satellites. It can be done at a fraction of that.
But Virgin Orbit is not without competition. Analysts estimate more than 100 companies are targeting this multi-billion-dollar small rocket market.
Good afternoon from Rocket Lab.
The leader is Rocket Lab, which has done 7 missions and, with the backing of venture capital, is now valued at more than $1 billion. And other players include Vector and Relativity Space, though established giants like Lockheed Martin have been making investments as well. For Virgin Orbit, whose sister company, Virgin Galactic, is set to become the first publicly traded space tourism company, the plan for now is to get to orbit.
We've been fortunate in having the strong backing of Virgin Group and Mubadala as our investors, and the personal guidance of Richard Branson. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley both predict a space economy of over $1 trillion within the next 15, 20 years. So there's a lot of interest. A lot of people are coming and asking how can they participate.
Pretty neat stuff. All right, well, it's been 50 years since Abbey Road, and a new album is set to come out to commemorate the anniversary. We'll explain after this. Welcome back. There's music news today spanning 50 years and a trio of artists, including the Beatles and Metallica. Here's Rick Damigella.
Come together right now over me.
September 26, 1969 saw the release of the Beatles' legendary Abbey Road. 50 years later, on September 27, 2019, Beatles fans can carry the weight of a super deluxe anniversary edition of the album. The set comes with 3 CDs, a digital and Blu-ray version in Dolby Atmos, and includes a new mix by Giles Martin, along with 23 session recordings and demos. The new mix of Abbey Road will also be available in vinyl and CD configurations. Symphonic encore for Metallica. Trafalgar Releasing has announced the Bay Area metal band's new collaboration with the San Francisco Symphony entitled S&M Squared will debut in movie theaters on October 9th with additional screenings at select locations. This year marks the 20th anniversary of Metallica's original S&M concert and album. Eagle Vision will release The Cure's 40 Live Curation 25 Plus anniversary on home video. The very long title features 2 concert films, including the band's 40th anniversary performance in Hyde Park. The set comes in multiple formats and drops October 18th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, well, still ahead, it's a sight that is very unusual. More on the snowstorm hitting the land down under. It's coming up after the break.
Welcome back. A motorist witnessed an unusual sight while traveling in the southeast Australia over the weekend.
Yeah, take a look at this. A large group of kangaroos hopping in the snow, something you don't see every day. Stephen Grenfell captured this video and posted it to Twitter with the caption, "Not something you see every day in Australia." I predicted that, yeah. The Bureau of Meteorology issued several warnings of severe weather in Australia's southeastern states, which, with this particular weather system, forecasted to be the worst of the Australia winter so far this year, because, you know, they're in the southern hemisphere,
yeah.
so they're saying winter right now.
Kangaroos are not having it. Either that or they're jumping in joy.
Very weird to see that and say, yeah, that's in Australia. All right, that's all for the news at noon. We'll see you back here for the news at 5. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.